Open up the champagne.
Let's give it for Gabrielle Maurice.
I'd first like to start by, really being able to just commend Ole Miss. Quality team. It's the first time that we have seen this team, this new generation of Ole Miss softball, and very clear why they're here. Very scrappy team, very tough team, and it was not an easy super regional. So once again, want to give them credit for just a tremendous season. And then get back to us. It's such a big moment for UCLA history. We're back in a position to be able to get back to that World Series to contend for a title. But I'm most proud of just about these girls. I mean, we've been on a journey. It has not been a smooth path, but I'm so proud of how we've never quit. They stuck together. They put the work in, and it's moments like this. It really makes it all worth it. But once again, just quality, opportunities that they took advantage of, from hits to quality pitching to being able to come into relief. And I'm just proud of the fact that UCLA softball is getting back to the World Series.
Questions, Brandon?
Yep. Anyone?
Coach, talk about the drama from last night. You had a chance to rest and then recoup, recharge, and get ready for today. What was the message going through the team's consciousness and yours also, and Coach Fernandez, to bring everybody back to square one for another day?
Yeah, I mean, I just think they're prepared. They're in great shape. They've worked hard. Of course, long games, especially last night, 4 hours is definitely wear and tear, but they've been doing this since February. February through today, we've had more than one game in a day, so it wasn't the first time. But I credit them. I think a big part of it is the work that they're doing in the weight room. Your job is to build a foundation so that when you get to the end, you're playing your best. They came today, and I did. I checked in. I was like, "How's everybody feeling?" And you know what? We're ready to get after a ball game. So it was very simple. I asked them to have poise today, not to come out and do anything more than just be themselves, and you got to see exactly that.
Coach, it was 2 one-run games. What do you feel like the ultimate difference was between the two teams?
Oh, I mean, at this time of the year, the big time hit, like what you saw last night, to be able to come back, from behind, down twice. I mean, I think that just says a lot about this team's fight. But it really comes down to defense at the end. It really comes down to your ability to stop in the circle, because everybody can hit. But what we did is we pitched well. It wasn't, the umpires were interesting. You were figuring them out, but that's part of the game. We were prepared for that. So it really came down to pitching and defense is what was the game changer in those 1-0 ball games.
You guys held them 0 for 15 when they had a runner on base and 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Could Selena and Rachel talk about holding them down in those situations and how you're able to do that?
Just for me, in my opinion, I believe I have the best defense in the country. So just hitting my spots and just getting them ground balls to just make plays. I mean, we saw there Delaney, Gabby, just the whole infield and outfield, just making plays left and right for just, having my back. So I think that just really helps. I don't feel any pressure when runners are on. So I just know with my defense having my back, I should find my spots, they'll make those plays.
Rachel, you came in that situation and got out of the key jam there. Can you talk about that?
Definitely, like throughout the game, just watching my defense make those plays, there was no doubt in my mind that we weren't going to get out of that situation, and we did. So, props to Ole Miss. I mean, they're a pretty good team.
Rachel, you obviously had a long night. What were you able to do in the last 24 hours to kind of rest and recover, and then get ready to go out again?
Definitely took an ice bath. Also, game ready my shoulder, but I mean, I woke up this morning feeling better than ever, so definitely helped.
Can you talk about the decision, both to talk about some of the factors that went into the decision, both to not go with Rachel from the start today and then to bring her in when you did?
I mean, I think it was part of the plan. I think a big part of our turning point of our season was the ability for the pitching staff to be able to work together. You know, Selena has been, right there as far as being getting the ball on, especially on that day too. The team's used to it. She's been able to be very consistent. She's won some big games in the Pac-12 for us. Yes, Rachel has definitely been a big factor, but, because Rachel and Lena and the rest of the pitchers have added to literally flipping this season for us. So it was not, I don't believe, surprising for anyone on our team, but I also knew that, Rachel would come in and be able to have an opportunity to close at any time. And that's part of what you just heard Lena say. They all have each other's backs. And, the team celebrated when Lena came out of the game because she did exactly what we needed her to do. Rachel threw 200-plus pitches last night. We needed Lena to come in and have a strong performance. She got herself into some situations and also got herself out, and that builds confidence for our team, complete confidence. And then it gave an opportunity for Rachel to come in and be very effective after Lena mixed a lot of speeds. So it was part of the game plan, and I'm really proud that we came out with the W with it today.
Now that you drove in the only run in the game, can you talk about that at bat?
Yeah, I mean, Bree was just having quality at bats in front of me, so anytime, I see her being patient up there and come back and tell me what she's seeing, it's just a lot of trust I have in her and the people before me. So, just wanted to get something going for our team, of course, and, only need one when you make plays and you have solid pitching, so, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are pretty successful scoring with 2 outs today. You guys did it last night. You guys did it as well. What do you kind of credit that to, this team being able to come back from 2 outs?
I just don't think we make anything too big. We don't look at that. We just go. We rally a lot with 2 outs, but we also rally probably a lot with 1 and 0. So none of that really plays a factor in how we go. We just trust in each other 1 through 9 and know that if we don't get it done, somebody else will.
Coach, what does it say about your team to be able to get out of 2 situations with 2 runners in scoring position in such a tight game?
Just resilient. And like I said, the word tonight, I say is poised. If you looked at them, there's been moments that we've had several Bruin teams throughout the history of this program where those moments get big. And what makes or breaks it and what defines, that championship quality team is how you manage that situation. And if you looked around, you could feel it. There was a great deal of confidence. Even when the umpire wasn't calling what we believed could be strikes, you saw them continue to have each other's backs, kind of stay loose. And those are the types of things, I told them, if you want to be a champion, you got to act like a champion. And they played with great confidence out there. So, great poise tonight. Resilient team. All those great words. But bottom line, they were out here to play softball, and they played their game. And I'm most proud that they did exactly that.
Can you kind of speak to the irony about, maybe we would have expected yesterday's game to be the pitcher's duel with both of the ones going, and then both of the ones don't start today, and then we have the pitcher's duel today?
Well, I think, there's a lot of preparation going into postseason, which I think can kind of play into that. I think, both sides could have an idea of what it is that we would do, and that's kind of what you saw. Yesterday we did a great job of coming out and executing a plan against a very effective pitcher. We haven't seen her before. She's effective. But our girls did a great job of executing the plan. And then I credit Ole Miss. They came out and they started to figure out a way to kind of get to Rachel. So I think that's kind of, where we are in the game. There's great preparation. I think the coaches do all they can to be able to help the players prepare in any way. And you got to see that. You got to see 2 teams kind of have a serious dogfight. But today it was a little unexpected, I think, on both ends. I don't think anyone knew who was going to go. And we probably looked at it and both could have gone either way because of the amount of pitches that both pitchers threw last night. So there was a period of adjustment. And I think that's why I'm probably most proud, that we scored in that first inning because she did settle in and she was effective. And I think that's, just part of the game. There's a little bit of cat and mouse. A little bit of cat and mouse on how things happen.
Coach, congratulations, first
Thank
of all.
you.
Second of all, all season you guys have been known as an offensive power, and today it was basically defense, pitching. Well, basically pitching. What does that say about your program and your team this year?
I mean, if you, the way you say that, I agree with you. You know, with the all parts of our game are, we're hitting all cylinders, and that's a big part of what has made UCLA softball the program that we are. Is based on the ability first to have pitching. You know, it all starts in the circle. Defense wins championships. You know, there's a lot of teams in the country, and in our sport now, you know, anyone can kind of take it out. You know, 1 through 9. So, but this team, what you hear them continue to say is they are so connected. They have so much confidence. I shared with you all, every single hitter in the lineup has hit a game winner this year for us. We don't rely on one person. You know, everybody has scored, you know, the game-winning run. So there's great confidence 1 through 9. I mean, Zoe Shaw, our 9 spot, you know, who had come in to just do whatever she could for the team, was leading us in the Pac-12. So it builds confidence, and bottom line, it helps you recover quicker, because if you don't get it done, then somebody else will pick you up. And that's how a team can be resilient and continue to be successful, because you don't ride the highs and lows of just 1 or 2 people. Very proud.
I'd like to ask each of the players here, very emotional game, but your thoughts on the season and now as you prepare for a return trip to the Women's College World Series. Just encapsulate quickly for Rachel, Selena, and Madeline, your thoughts on this season, 2017.
I mean, starting off, I felt like there were some ups and downs, and just going through the season, we stuck to a plan and we executed it, and now we're going to the World Series. So.
I mean, like Rachel said, yeah, we started off, obviously, you know, an adjustment period, but I think once Pac-12 hit and just on, I think we just really hit working on all cylinders of our game, and I think obviously now postseason's a different season for us, so that's when it matters most. So I think we're just hitting all, like Coach said, hitting all cylinders right now and just getting ready for OKC.
Yeah, I just think a big thing for us is trust. You know, we trust the coaches down all the way down. We trust the pitchers. I mean, I wish you guys could see them drenched in sweat. Every single one of them, every practice, just putting everything they have into bullpens, and it really shows. And just, you know, everybody gets their work done. You know, you can come up here every night and there's probably somebody hitting. So it's just the trust of everybody. We put in the work. We expect to be here. We expect to be at OKC every year. So just going off that.
This is third consecutive trip to the Women's College World Series. Is there a different mindset? Were there lessons learned these last 2 years that you can carry forward this time?
Their mindset, no, it's the same, get it done. But I think we just have a lot of experience. I think there's pretty much every person on this team, I mean, besides the freshmen, now everybody's been to the World Series. So there's just a great deal of experience, great leadership, and there's just go there and win, get it done, bring one home.
I've asked the coach this question. The changes were made after the Utah series. What did you see that kind of helped this team start rising to the top after that?
After that Utah series, I think we just started working extra hard. We started boosting it up in the weight room. We just really committed to a process of getting back to here and getting back to OKC. And every single person on this team, all 20 girls, 22 girls have bought into this new wave of working hard and getting it done, whatever it takes. So we just went for it.
Last year, obviously, it ended pretty quickly with 2 games. Has that been driving the team ever since then? The thought of getting back and kind of doing better?
I mean, that was 2016 when
I love it.
Rachel and as the 2 top pitchers on this team, how do you feel going into the World Series, and what do you expect?
I mean, I feel really confident. I know, you know, Rachel, no matter what, has my back, and vice versa. I have Rachel's back. So just going in and just, you know, attacking the strike zone, you know, just getting these things done. My defense just having my back. I think that's just the main confidence for me, especially. I mean, I feel pretty good about our whole pitching staff, Johanna, Paige. I think we're all very well experienced. So I think that's what is really firing me up, I guess.
Well, this is my first time actually playing there, so I'm super excited. I mean, I feel relaxed. Like Maddie said, it's trust, and I think we all have the confidence in each other to get the job done. And we're not done yet.
Coach, the durability and the athleticism demonstrated by Rachel. Talk a little bit about that, because it's a heavy load to know you pitched a great game the night before and coming back and being the designated hitter. Talk about that.
I literally say I'm most fortunate, because I get to go over such a high level. It's not just their ability to play softball, but just also academically. I mean, they're the top 1%, I believe, because they have to manage in both areas. But I've seen all of these girls from a very early age, so I've been able to see Rachel and all of them develop to these just high level. Rachel has been able to be a good pitcher when she was a lot younger, 8th and 9th grade, to just literally the top pitcher in the country in her senior year. And probably the most impressive part of Rachel Garcia's story is when, her first day on campus was, post ACL surgery in a wheelchair, and it was raining. And I thought, this is not the way it's supposed to start. So I was at her CIF game where she went down and tore ACL, and the next day her bags were packed for Team USA. And I mean, she was on a high. She just won the National Gatorade Player of the Year award for high school, and literally was on top of the world. And then the injury set in. So from that point, from that first day to get to where we are now, there's nothing that's going to stop her. I mean, it was hard, and I kept on telling her through that time, it's going to pay out. I promise you. I mean, a lot of tears, a lot of sweat, a lot of why? And I told her, don't ask that question. But God, it's amazing to see her back here after the year she just experienced. Nobody on the team knew what she could bring, probably except for me, from seeing her. She was just the injured freshman. And now she literally has led this team back, to the World Series. The entire team, but has just taken on a tremendous load. And I'm very proud. But I'm not surprised, because she's worked very hard. She has a strong work ethic and a strong will. And the most important part is she's such a great team player. She gives her teammates all the credit. And I think that's what makes Rachel so special.
And lastly, for Rachel, just to follow up on that, your family, your support, what kept you going, because that's so important.
Yeah, moments like last night and today, I mean, I just look up in the stands and I see my parents, and it keeps me relaxed and it keeps me going in the game. So, I mean, actually my whole family was here today, plus probably half of Palmdale. So, yeah, so they definitely keep me going, and they're the reason why I'm in this sport. So.
Congratulations to all.
Thank you.
Madeline talked about it being 2016. Do you, and moving on, do you take that approach too, or do you kind of look at the lessons learned? And
To be honest, in fall, I started out in fall, and I simply said we're not gonna start over a new season. We're gonna pick up right where we left off, and that was a mistake. Matt is exactly right. That was 2016, and it took some time for us to find out who we were in 2017. But that's what the season is for. It's a journey, and what we came to is, instead of getting caught up on the past or what we did or needed to do, we kind of figured out who we were, and this team is better, stronger for it, because the past is as old as dirt. This team this year, right now, they are playing great ball. It is a completely different look. They have great confidence, and we could do anything right now. We're going to do it together, and I love where we are, because we're committed to the process. There's a feeling, there's a culture right now, and all these things are a part of what allows you to be successful in postseason. We got to be able to be together as one. The culture has to be strong. We have to play for each other. We ultimately will do whatever it takes to be able to bring that natty home. But for right now, we're going to just celebrate. That was a big-time Super Regional, some big-time moments. Man, we could take a big, deep breath right now, but we're going back to OKC, and I can't wait to get this team there.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. First off, I want to say congratulations to UCLA. What a great team. First one to punch their ticket. It's kind of come full circle for me. I started my career coaching here in California, and Ole Miss is where I want to end my career, and I'm thankful that I got to experience a Super Regional here in California in front of family and friends, and I know our California people. So I just wish Kelly and the rest of the UCLA team good luck in Oklahoma City. But I think they're going to do great. That is one heck of a ball club out there. So, hotty toddy. Any questions?
you guys pitched well, had lots of opportunities. Was just not being able to cash them in kind of the difference tonight?
To me? Yeah, I mean, you got to tip your cap to their two pitching. I mean, their two pitchers were really good. They just kept us off balance, and I thought Kelly did a great job. She made the change at the right time. I felt like we started to get to her, and we figured that was going to happen. That was going to be the game plan tonight, that they were going to try to go as far deep as they could, and we got people on base, and then they were going to make the change, and totally different type of pitchers. And it's exactly what we planned on. That's exactly what they did, and they came out victorious. We had our opportunities. We just couldn't get the big hit. But that's kind of been our story this year. When we've lost ball games, we haven't lost games by a lot. We've lost by 1 or 2 runs just because we haven't gotten that big hit. And so we're going to take this, we're going to come back, and we're going to learn from it.
Coach, what was your pitching plan today? I saw Lee was warming up a couple times. Would you have, at what point might you have brought her in?
I don't know. I mean, I literally had a gut feeling today that I was going to go with Finney. She's had great outings the last 2 weeks of the regular season. Really 3 weeks of the regular season. She won big games against LSU and Alabama, and we just kind of went with a hot hand. And I just felt like today we had thrown Lee a lot over the last 2.5 weeks. She threw 190 pitches last night, and she had never thrown back-to-back against the same team. So I figured, and they got to her, they hit her a little bit, and so I felt like, well, let's just give them a different look. And what a heck of a job that this girl did tonight. She gave us an opportunity to win, and I'm so proud of what she did. I'm so thankful she left Oklahoma to come to Ole Miss. Man, we get pitching like that for the future with her and Lee next year. I really think that we're going to be back in this super regional, and we're going to be hosting, and we're going to have a shot at going to OKC.
Brittany, it was your first start in 3 weeks. Just, how'd you feel, in the circle?
I was definitely ready for it. Talking to Coach before the game, he told me, it's my opportunity and I have the ball, and I knew that I had been working in the bullpen when I wasn't throwing in games and working with Coach T in practice, and I was definitely ready for this opportunity.
What changed after the first inning?
A little bit of go-getter attitude. I felt very passive in the first inning. I felt like I was kind of more caught up in the name of UCLA as opposed to just thinking, it's anybody's ball game at this point. And so I decided after the first inning to just go out there, and it doesn't matter who's at the plate, doesn't matter who we're playing against, that we've done so many great things this year, why not win?
Coach, can you talk about sort of the irony with, you had those 2-1s going at it with yesterday's game. That's maybe the game you expect to be the pitcher's duel, but then you end up getting the pitcher's duel today.
Yeah, that is kind of ironic. Welcome to postseason softball. I mean, it happens sometimes. I really felt like we squandered away a couple of opportunities last night. I mean, we could have been sitting here with the first interview going to Oklahoma City. I mean, that's how crazy this game is. It's a game of what ifs. What if we would have done this? What if I would have brought Brittany Finney in last night when they started getting to her? I mean, those are questions that have been asked of me, and I felt like that was what we were going to do, and we did what we did today. I mean, that's softball. That's the way this game goes, the way the ball bounces, whatever you want to call it. But I'm just so proud of what this team has done this year. Nobody thought Ole Miss softball would be relevant at the national level. Nobody thought us having a shot at going to Oklahoma City. There's nobody in the country except for those people that were in these blue and red uniforms tonight, and the coaching staff and our administrative staff.
Mike.
Brittany, I doubt you've had a chance to check Twitter, but Red Cop Rebellion caught your face after Becker snagged a fly ball and right. How good did it feel to have your defense behind your back?
For the whole season, I felt like I've always had the defense behind me, but today they just came out with such a fire. I knew that no matter what I was doing, that they were going to have my back, whether I was giving up shots and they were going to make great plays off the wall, or whether I was getting ground balls and they were going to get out to first. I knew that going into this game, I could feel that this team had my back.
Mike, I know it's still kind of fresh, but what's the biggest learning lesson from this Super Regional?
The experience. I mean, really, we're a young ball club still. Being able to play at this stage is brand new for us. And I think you can't teach an experience of playing in the postseason, and we are going to be a much better ball club. I think we're where we're at today because we got a chance to play Oklahoma in the regional final last year. And this is part of that growing process that we've had. I mean, you're talking about 3 years taking a program that was, irrelevant, and now we're talking about potentially going to the College World Series. And what these girls have done, what my staff has done, what our administration has believed in us and our program is beyond amazing, and I'm so proud of what they have done and the experience that we have for the future.
And do you feel like the experience UCLA had in this setting maybe helped a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, 11 times national champions, whether they've been there 22 times, something along those lines. I mean, you can't look at that any differently. But they had a young freshman out in the circle. She's never experienced it, and she did a great job. She attacked the zone last night. We got to her a little bit, and she came in when she needed to and got the big pitches that she needed, and we didn't capitalize on it. And kudos to what she did tonight. And I'm telling you, that kid's going to do some great things.
Yeah, a couple of questions. First for Elisa Gonzalez. Bienvenidos, welcome back to Southern California. We are very interested in following your career. You have burst on the scene in big fashion. Congratulations on a 2-game series today. Unfortunately, you did not win, but you will be followed. First question will be to Alyssa, Coach, and I'm going to come to you. But Alyssa, talk about the season, talk about the impact this series, this Super Regional has had on you in your freshman year.
All season, from the fall, I had a pretty good fall. And then coming into spring, I was going good in the beginning and kind of fell. But one thing I took to heart is at the beginning of the year in the fall, Coach always told us trust the process. Trust the process. And I took that to heart, and I trusted what he was teaching all of us, and I trusted the process, and it's gotten me where I am today.
And Coach, to have Alyssa coming back, she's only a freshman, just a baby, but for the program and the maturation process, your foresight to see her develop as a player.
What she was able to do on the national stage was pretty impressive. We need to probably make more trips to California, if that's okay, with our administration, because when we were here in Fullerton, she had a great series when we were here for the Fullerton tournament to start the year. So I'm proud of what she did this weekend, and coming off the bench and doing it. Yeah. She didn't start, so she came off the bench and really won herself an opportunity to continue to stay in the lineup. And we always tell our kids, if you're not in the starting lineup when your number's called, step up to the plate and make something happen. And she did exactly what we've talked about. That is trusting the process. Yeah. That's exactly what she's talking about right there.
Brittany, why did you transfer from Oklahoma, and what was your idea and your plan when you found out you were going to be starting today?
I decided to transfer from Oklahoma because I wanted somewhere that was going to give me the best opportunity for the goals to reach the goals that I had set for myself, and I found that Oklahoma wasn't the best fit for me personally, and I decided that I needed to try something new and find somewhere else that was going to give me different opportunities than I found myself in at Oklahoma. Going into today, I really just had the same mindset as any other game. Just go in and try to hype myself up a lot and try to say I'm the baddest pitcher out here and this, that. And so I came in today thinking that there was no way anybody was going to touch me, and just go out there and throw a no-hitter, throw a perfect game. Why not? That was my whole thing going into today, is why not us?
This is the second NCAA tournament now. Just how does the end of this season compare to the end of last?
Well, we made it further. Again, I think it's the experience. The journey that we've come from last year, and we got the taste of the NCAA tournament, to going back to the SEC tournament and winning the whole thing, that was a pretty good taste in our mouths. And then having an opportunity to host a regional at home, in front of almost 5,000 fans in a 3-day period, we've never seen that on our campus before. So that was a great experience for our players. And now knowing how we play at home, that experience is now going to push us to be able to continue to be good in our midweek games, and then you have great conference games. So we have an opportunity to be one of the top 8 teams, so we can sit at this time next year at our place, and we can have a conversation about going to Oklahoma City. So I just think the experience, this entire experience from last year to this year, has been just huge for us.
Lisa, going off what's already been said tonight, I know you said last night you had more family in town this evening. How great did it feel to put on a show?
It was awesome. I had a lot more family here tonight. I know there was a couple more people back from my home city that came out, but it was amazing to have everybody there. I had some videos sent to me last night. My high school had their senior banquet, and they had it on at their banquet, and they were watching the whole game.
For Lisa, talk just briefly if you can. I know it's not so much connected to the super regionals, but the fact that you were recruited, and I'm speaking about for our local fans here. There's so many Chicana Latinas that are interested in moving their game up higher, and you now will be a shining example for them. Please, your thoughts, and you tell us how the recruitment went to go to Ole Miss from Southern California. It has to be a story in itself. Can you just touch on that briefly?
Yeah, actually I was recruited my sophomore year of high school by the previous coach of Ole Miss, Coach Dees. My junior year, Coach Smith was hired, and I was a little nervous because I didn't know how Coach Smith would like me, but just the development, my parents supported me everywhere they can, through the weekends, through the taking time off of work. It's a lot of having to do with being able to, again, trust the process and trust that everything that I've done since I was 5 years old is going to help me do.
Thank you, and good luck.
You touched on it a little bit with Brittany and Caitlin coming back next season. I think everybody but 2 people in the lineup today were underclassmen. Can you touch a little bit on what you have coming back and just how excited about how much experience you have coming back?
I mean, yeah, like you just said, we're bringing back 7 starters from last year, including 2 pitchers that have kind of led us through this postseason. And we've got some kids that are on the bench that I think after 1 year of maturity, I think they're going to benefit. And we've got some great kids. I mean, our recruiting classes over the next 3 years are outstanding, and we're excited about the new ones coming in. I mean, they're coming into a great program. They're excited already. I know they've tweeted and texted. A couple of them were here this weekend, so they got a taste of it by sitting here and saying, hey, I want to do that next year. So I think the future is so bright for our program. I mean, we've got some talented kids coming in from all over the country.
You're talking about talented kids coming all over the country. You have 7 kids on your roster from Southern California. What does it say about softball in this area in Southern California?
I mean, what makes Southern California so good in softball is they get a chance to play year-round. A lot of the former players who were, Olympians, great high school players, great college players, are coming back and giving back to the game in the state of California. That's why the talent is so good, because they're getting coached at an early age. So that's why a lot of these programs are coming out to California. But what's happening now is that pendulum is swinging to really across the country. I mean, I think we have 11 different players on our team from 11 players from different states. And so, coming out to California, I've got ties here. Taryn's got ties here. Being able to coach it in Louisiana, I've got Southern ties. That's been really big for us. Ruben's got ties out in Florida, North Carolina. So, I mean, we're all over the country, and we're gaining a lot more ties in the Northeast. So, I mean, our recruiting base is going to be really huge across the country.
Any more questions? Go ahead, Jordan. One last question. I noticed between innings, some of your players were doing some moves and trying to get up. Do you keep scouting reports on the dance moves or any statistics on the dance moves?
I can't scout dancing because I can't dance myself. I know that they probably were looking forward to us going to Oklahoma City more than anybody, because I told them if we get there, I'll do any dance that you want me to do. So, and I wrote this on a whiteboard, I signed it, and when we were on the plane, I had a couple of them show me this. This was, I think, at the beginning of the year in the fall, and they showed me, said, Coach, we're 2 games away from you having to dance. But you know what? I would have danced any dance that they wanted to do if we were on our way to Oklahoma City. So that's something to look forward to next year. But again, if I can say anything, I mean, and I know I beat the dead horse, but I'm so proud of our team. I'm so proud of these 2 next to us. I'm so proud of what Caitlin Lee's done over the stretch. I'm so proud of the starters and the players that have come off the bench. I'm proud of my staff. I mean, they've bought into the process. I'm proud of Rebel Nation and what they have done for Ole Miss softball. They came out in droves. I mean, look what we had at UCLA. I mean, it was probably louder for our fans than it was for UCLA fans. So, but that's what we're about. That's what Ole Miss is about. So, hotty toddy.
Coach, being part of Rebel Nation, and I was out there in my left field for a couple of games, just was being a magnificent year. Just one word to describe the year. Just one.
Electric. Electric. Yep.
So, Coach, what does Howdy Toddy mean?
It's our, like hello and goodbye and Hawaii. It's our kind of our.
Well, out here in LA, we want to know.
Why don't we give it to them? Are you ready? Hell yeah! Damn right! Hotty toddy, gosh almighty, who the hell are we? Hey, flim flam, bim bam, oh miss by damn. That's our cheer.